So I just got done with episodes 2 and 3 of Invincible season 3, and there's two things that I can most definitely tell you after watching these episodes. Number one, Oliver, that shit was not an accident. I don't know who do you think is gonna believe that, but we know that wasn't an accident, my boy. And number two, Invincible is one of the greatest TV shows of all time. Already! But before I get too deep into my bag, man, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Zion. We back at it with another video, talking Invincible once again. If you haven't seen my video on episode 1, I went over it already. Go and peep that video real quick, and then come back where I talk about episodes 2 and 3. I'm just gonna jump straight into it. I'm not gonna waste any time, and we're gonna start off talking about episode 2. If I'm also being honest, episode 2 didn't really have too much that I thought was talkable. I was gonna make it its own separate video, but I was like, why the fuck would I do this when this video would literally be 6 minutes? I think that most of the main points can be summarized into one, maybe like 3 big bullet points. You feel what I'm saying? I think number one, we start to see Cecil's backstory. We get to see him when he's younger, when he's still got a little bit of full head of hair. You feel what I'm saying? He's still got his normal skin. We get to see how he's got that scar. The scar turns out to be his only real skin left to remind him that he fucked up. He did get his ass beat by them Russian people. Don't think I wasn't gonna mention that. He got his ass whooped by that Russian. Fast forward a little bit and we see Cecil shoot the same people who beat his ass. Those same Rush people, we see him shoot them in the head because he refuses to work with people who are murderers. And we quickly realize why we get the Cecil backstory and how crucial it is to the storytelling of this episode, because essentially Mark is old Cecil. He doesn't want to work with Darkblood. He doesn't want to work with St. Clair. If you're a murderer, he thinks you should be in jail. Cecil basically lives off the one thing that he was told by his successor. You either could be the good guy or you could be the guy that saves the world. And at this point in the story, we know what Cecil is. We know what he is. And we know what Mark is. So we can see why they're clashing. And that leads into the Guardians essentially having their own little Civil War version where the Guardians essentially split into 2 different teams. Mark says he's not going to work for Cecil anymore. But everything's all out of whack. Everything's fucked up right now in the superhero world. To just put a bow on episode 2, it ends with a nice little ending because Mark and Eve finally work it out. He didn't sell the bag. He didn't sell the bag, y'all. It was looking hairy in the first episode, but he was able to rebound in number 2. You feel me? But yeah, man, that's basically all episode 2 was. I feel like it was still a really good episode, but episode 3 was the real meat and potatoes. I can see why they dropped all 3 episodes at once, man. I can see the vision now. The episode starts with the backstory of these bank robbers. We see them go through the trials and the tribulations of, somebody who would ever come to that thought process of robbing a bank. So we see them going through it, trying to pay bills, trying to eat, hungry, looking at the bank. They're like, damn, should we go back in there? Should we try robbing again? I mean, last time we got fist to face, but we kind of need this money, y'all. So they go back. And they're getting fist to face again, man. They should have just stayed at home. They should have just tried to find another 9 to 5, bro. Now they're about to be back in jail, bro. It's not like they got stopped by fucking Immortal or Black Samson. They got stopped by Invincible, bro. It's over. Maybe I spoke too soon, though, because they was kind of holding their own against Invincible. We got this dude over here with the bungee gum. He thinks he's Hisoka. Not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be Invincible in 4, but they were able to capture him with the bungee gum. I was like, okay, they put in work. Until Oliver comes to save Invincible, man. This is what I mean. Invincible has got to stop holding back. You should not be losing to these random fodder characters, bro. I know he's got the bungee gum like he's Hisoka, but there's no excuse for you to be getting caught by them. It's that simple. To be fair, this dude with the bungee gum is low-key putting in overtime. I can't lie. Y'all ever seen that meme? Like, what does he even do? That's how he should feel about his partner, bro, because that nigga is doing absolutely nothing. There was a slight chance he might have been able to get them out of that situation, too. But then he looked at Oliver, he saw the innocence of a child, and Mark takes advantage of that and shoulder presses that nigga to the wall, bro. Mark is irate with Oliver once again. He's sick and tired of Oliver showing him to these crime scenes. He just wants him to stay at home and be safe. I'm not gonna lie, I understand why he's mad, but at the same time, he kind of just saved your ass. So maybe you shouldn't be on him. That's all I'm saying. Maybe you shouldn't be on his neck. We do take a slight pause in the superhero talk. Once again, though, we move into some more building blocks, some more lore, as we see that Rex and the people that decided to leave the Guardians of the Globe with him have moved into a new headquarters. They moved into where they used to be the Team Teen. They moved back. I feel like they can make that their new old home. And not only that, but it also makes the split official in my eyes. Not gonna lie, if I was to pick a side, I'm picking Rex's side. The other side of the Guardians of the Globe, led by Immortal, fuck that, bro. Picking that side is setting yourself up for not just failure, but for death. I'm not gonna lie. We transitioned over to seeing that Mark's a man of his word. He promised to train Oliver, and training him he's doing. Letting him know just because you know how to fly doesn't mean you know how to fly. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of getting him right this episode though. He was impressed by what happened at the beginning of the episode because he takes him to art and he gets his first superhero suit. Let's go, Oliver. Let's go. And then you realize he picked the name Kid Omni-man. What? There's no way in hell, no way, that he thought that Kid Omni-man was gonna fly in the year 2025. There's just no way. Now, granted, I get it. It's his dad. It's his pops. He has no idea what happened on Earth. He has no idea how many bodies he caught. But Mark does, so Mark shuts that shit down basically immediately. Oliver doesn't fully understand it, but he shuts that shit down. It wouldn't be right if Oliver was the only man out here getting new drip though. Because Mark gets a new suit, and that shit, I'm gonna be the one to put it out there, that shit is 100 times better than his regular suit. I'm not gonna lie. The blue and the black, that shit is a fire color scheme, bro, no cap. While they're shooting the shit about their new threads, they start to overhear on the radio that there's a prison break going on. And our season is a perfect opportunity to unveil the new suit for Mark, you feel me? But Oliver, you knew that he was gonna wanna go. You know he wants to be a superhero, and you know how persistent he's been about it. So Mark tells him, hey, you can go, but you cannot fight. And Oliver agrees. And he goes back on that agreement, like 3 minutes later. Karma was a bitch this time though, because Oliver almost got his ass whooped by some fighter characters. I mean, have we ever seen these guys before? Genuinely, I'm genuinely asking. Have we ever seen these guys before? I do not remember them whatsoever if we have. But they almost beat Oliver's ass. And that shit pissed Mark off. So he goes from Mark to Invincible and he just beat the shit out of them. Like, god damn. Made dude land on top of bro and dick the butt position. That's crazy. I ain't gonna hold it. Did have to repay Oliver for that save that he made in the beginning of the episode. So I can also commend that. I can't really blame Mark for being mad here. Like, bro. What is wrong with this little nigga Oliver, bro? He is the definition of a badass little kid. Y'all remember that one book? What was that kid? David, I think that was that nigga that was bad as shit. It was just a book of him doing bad shit. That would literally be Oliver, bro. Then we have the turning point of the episode, of the season potentially, of Oliver's character. Because the Mauler Twins, it's always the fucking Mauler Twins, bro. Why is it always the Mauler Twins? Like, dead ass. But this time, they are not fodder characters. They are not secondary villains. They're businessmen. Deadass though, they created this sound wave gun that attacks the nervous system, which they said is the weakness of every single member of the Guardians. And they were able to back that up very quickly. Because the Guardians 2.0 show up, the 5 of them, and even the Mauler Twins were like, really? Really, nigga? This is all we got? Did we get downgraded? The fuck is this? This is the fodder team. This is a team full of NPCs. The fuck are we doing? And they just went in there and they made every single one of them niggas look weak as shit. Dare I use a WWE term? They buried the Guardians of the Globe. Buried them. It just made me realize Immortal is so trash. What kind of nigga that's named Immortal never wins fights? When was the last time Immortal won a fight? Deadass. Has he won a fight at all in this show? He sucks. Kate sucks. That alien nigga sucks. Samus, he's horrible. He literally did nothing. He didn't get a single punch in. He's horrible. The only person that was putting in work was Dark Blood. And even to a certain extent, he wasn't even putting in work because he didn't get shit done. They all got their asses kicked. They're on the floor hitting the... Like, it's bad. I'm not gonna lie. It is bad. They got lucky Mark showed up to save the day. It's looking bad. Even Mark falls for this fucking gun. This gun is fucking OP. And they're about to shoot Mark again. And then they're going to fulfill their goal of letting off a missile that sets off an EMP that blocks connection worldwide. Until Oliver shows up and smashes through the gun, gaining 1,000 aura. No cap. He gained a shit ton of aura off that. And after that, everybody starts boxing. Mark gets pieced up, per usual. Y'all know how this goes. Death, taxes, and Invincible being anything and everything but Invincible. You feel what I'm saying? Oliver was out here looking like prime Muhammad Ali. He said, weave on your head. Like, he hit the nastiest little beak on top of his head, bro. Mark comes in, messing with his mojo, fucking him up. He gets slammed. He's starting to get slammed on his fucking head like he's a little ass kid. And now Mark wants to grow up hair and start being ass. Mark, Vincible. loser. He pisses me off so much because I want to like Mark. I want to like him so bad, but he's got to stop holding back, man. It takes Oliver putting in work, embarrassing you for you to start shoulder checking niggas. Like, come on, bro. You should have been did that. But after the Maulers realized that Oliver got them hands and that Mark's starting to get serious, they said, fuck it. Fuck it. And they let the missile off. Mark flies up to stop the missile essentially immediately, telling Oliver, take your bitch ass home. And Mark's able to stop the missile. He blows it up. But I think that he might have regretted making that decision because Oliver stays behind and he was standing on business. He tells them, hey, I told y'all niggas y'all wasn't getting off easy. And he doesn't let them get off at all. First off, he breaks dude's jaw, had that shit dangling. That was wild. And then he just straight up bursts through one of the Mauler Twins. And then he kills the other one after he gave up. And then he has zero remorse in his eyes after doing it. Talking about some... That's what happens when you're a bad guy. Oh, someone needs to stop this little kid before it's too late. I'm not gonna lie, we got a little Homelander right now. We got Brightburn right now. We got Injustice Superman right now. Someone needs to get this kid under wraps immediately. This is one of the times where I might say Cecil was right. I'm not gonna lie, this nigga should be in a lab. I don't care, this nigga should be in a lab. But no, on the real though, that was an insane choice by the writer. I fucking loved it. I think not only does it show you that he's more Omni-man than he is Invincible, but he's, at the end of the day, 0% human. He's Viltrumite and whatever the fuck that alien race or that ant race was. You know what I'm saying? Like, in reality, he has zero ties to humans other than his stepmom and his brother. So him leaning more towards Omni-Man's thinking at his age where he's kind of still ignorant to the world he's living in makes sense. I loved how he tries to claim that it was an accident when clearly it wasn't. I love that he sprints away from Mark and tries flying all throughout the earth to try, because he doesn't want to hear the bullshit. In his mind, he stopped the bad guys. Bad guys shouldn't be able to do bad things ever again. It's that simple to him. But he's got to understand that life is precious, man. Even if you are a bad guy, life is still precious. And I think by the end of the episode, after the talk with Mark and after the talk with the whole family, he's starting to understand it a little bit more. He's starting to develop the empathy that Omni-Man is starting to develop just way too late. You feel what I'm saying? But as they're getting a nice family hug in, as they're all embracing, Mark starts to notice something. He starts to feel a presence. This might be a SportsCenter top 10 play, how quickly he grabbed that camera. I mean, let me throw in the replay. Ugh. I mean, that shit was tough. Shout out Mark, man. Get that guy on the NFL field. But anyway, it turns out to be a camera that basically explodes on impact, which we learn very, very soon after that somebody's been watching Mark, his family, his every move this past 3 months. Somebody very, very familiar.